Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this Cabinet meeting on Thursday, the 27th of March at 6 o'clock. So can I remind members that the meeting is being recorded and will be uploaded to YouTube. I've got no apologies for absence, and I think we're all here anyway, so that's good. So item 2, minutes of the previous meeting from the 8th of March. Are there any questions on it? Can I have a mover and a seconder? We've got some names. All those in favour? Thank you very much. Item 3 then, declarations of interest. Is there anything anyone wants to declare? No again, that's fabulous. Number 4 is question time. There haven't been any questions submitted to us for today's meeting. Item 5 then is matters referred to Cabinet in accordance with the overview and scrutiny procedure rules. And we have a couple of these, and the first one is the Chair of Infrastructure, Safety and Growth. I'll hand over to Councillor Couchman.
Thank you, Chair. In February 28th of February 2023, a motion was submitted to full council concerning sewage, which was then delegated to the Infrastructure, Safety and Growth Scrutiny Committee. Now, we had a meeting earlier this month. Last month, thank you, Leanne. And we had visitors from the Rivers Trust, Severn Trent, but not the sewage part, just the sort of the nice bit, how they clear the sewage, and Staffordshire County Council. And there was a lot of information given to us. And water quality in Tamworth is poor from the rivers. And it's because we're downstream from Birmingham, basically, and we get all their lovely stuff. Now, the lady from the Rivers Trust gave us an awful lot of information, but one of the things she said is that they have a meeting online, catchment partnership meetings, and so it was resolved that we would ask that the relevant portfolio holder, along with the relevant senior officer at the council, attend the catchment partnership meetings. And I think the invitation has already gone out to Councillor Foster and Miss Pete. Okay. And we hope you'll accept that recommendation.
So has anybody got any questions for Marion on this? No. So we're happy to approve that that's a recommendation. Yeah. So a mover, please. And a seconder. Should get some names. All those in favour? Thank you. Thank you for bringing this to us, Marion. That was good. Thank you. So B on this is the report of the Chair of Health and Wellbeing Scrutiny, and I'll hand over to Councillor Bain for this, please.
Yes, thank you. We looked at, we were focusing at the time on the report on damp and mould, but actually some of the lessons that we talked about would apply across a range of literature produced by this council. And it was about the accessibility of the literature to people with visual impairment. And we did have a long discussion around that, and there are things you can do to make it more accessible: size of font, type of font, colours, colour combinations and so on. And when we were discussing it, it became clear that this is a growing problem for us, because there are a number of long-term conditions with which visual impairment is associated. Primary amongst them is diabetes. So I think this is something that we need to look across the range of council literature, starting with damp and mould, but look across the range of council literature and have it tested out by people who do struggle with visual impairment to see how accessible it is to them. So that was the recommendation from the committee chair, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you for that, Councillor Bain. I think it's a bit of a no-brainer, isn't it, that we would make, and in the light of what we've been saying for the last year, we have to make sure that all of our literature is accessible to everyone. So I am fully behind that. Is there any questions? Nova.
Yeah, thank you, Councillor Bain. It was a question for you, Stephen. Didn't we have a conversation before about simple English, and wasn't there some initiative going into place to help us?
I think you're quite right, Councillor Hartney. I'll need to take that back because I think our comms team were looking at that. So I'll take that back as an action and we'll come back to you.
I can actually update a little bit on that. That there's several people who've taken something, some course. So there is some capability within, but it's we need to check that that's enough really. But we do need to, as we did highlight a while ago, we do need to test these things and make sure that everything's fit for purpose. So thank you for that. Any more questions? So the recommendation is then that the literature around damp and mould is reviewed to make it more accessible to people with a visual impairment. And can we add on to that we would want to see that throughout council literature that is going to, well, to everyone really, because it's not just residents, is it? It may be just our stakeholders that have an issue. So we need to make sure that everything is okay. So can I have a mover? And a seconder? Loads of hands in the air. All those in favour? Thank you. So now I move to the exclusion of the press and public. That members of the press and public now be excluded from the meeting during consideration of the following item on the grounds that the business involves the likely disclosure of exempt information as defined in paragraph 3 of part 1 of Schedule 12A to the Local Government Act 1972 as amended. Do I have a mover? And a seconder? All those in favour? Thank you very much.